Do you ever feel like sometimes you just need to escape from everything? Well, these folks did, and they built homes to make that happen. From dozing off on a rugged cliff to paddling out to a secluded island, these places are designed for hermits with flair. So, join us for another amazing video as we're going to take a closer look at 15 homes of people who hate the outside world. Number 15. Dragon-slaying hermit. You'd have to really despise society to live on a cliff carved into solid rock, but the hermitage of San Colombano makes that commitment look almost heroic. Hidden in Trambileno, Italy, this structure is shielded from rain and sun thanks to a natural rock ceiling. Local legend claims a monk named San Colombano came here in the 14th century and quickly took on a dragon that had been terrorizing kids during baptisms in the river below. The monster was slain, and the site became a refuge for spiritual hermits, hence the name. To get there, you'll have to walk an abandoned road, since no vehicles can access it. The hermitage sits halfway up a sheer cliff at around 400 feet. The final climb includes 102 hand-carved stone steps. Some say the original inhabitants date back to the 8th century. Though the structure's been rebuilt, it's still got that untouched, rugged vibe, a place for those who want isolation with a splash of legend. Number 14. The Crystal Mill. The beauty of the Crystal Mill proves that a secluded cabin in the woods might be all you really need to escape people and their chaotic lives. If it's not already swarmed by tourists, the Crystal Mill could be your quiet fix. This striking relic of functional design sits right outside Marble, the kind of place that lets you step away and reconnect with a quieter version of the wild. Built out of weathered timber completely, this place is over 127 years old and still standing. It means a lot to those who adore it, enough that they created the Crystal Mill Foundation to keep it from fading away. Surrounded by aspen trees and a waterfall that spills into a spring-fed pool, the site has been one of Colorado's most visited locations for nearly 50 years. In 1985, it was added to the National Register of Historic Places, and you can even rent it out for a weekend, if it's available. Number 13. The Mythical Pillar of Georgia. Living on a towering rock might sound absurd, but climbing 130 feet into the sky was once seen as the perfect way to reach spiritual clarity. Monks once stood atop the Catski Pillar in central Georgia, the country, not the US, to dedicate their lives to divine worship. Before Christianity, this stone column was likely used in pagan rituals, possibly for fertility ceremonies. By the 4th century, Georgia adopted Christianity, and by the 6th century, a cross was carved into the base to mark the shift in faith. No one really knows how that engraving was made using the tools of the time, but it's still visible today. A small church was constructed on top by the 7th century. The site was later abandoned, and researchers began digging into its deeper cultural significance. Today, if you want to visit, you'll need monk approval and a brutal climb. Number 12. Monastery of the Holy Trinity. If you're trying to run from the outside world, you probably can't get much farther than the ocean. But getting to the beach is another story. That's where the famous Agia Triada comes in, a monastery built high above the shoreline on a wild rock formation near Calabaca. It gives you the best of both worlds, sea views and sky-level solitude. This cliffside monastery even made an appearance in the James Bond film For Your Eyes Only, starring Roger Moore. Built between 1458 and 1476, it follows Byzantine architecture with 3 domes, one of which honors the life-giving spring, and another St. John the Theologian. A monk named Domitius is said to have built it, though there's little documented evidence. Before 1925, the only way up was via rope ladders and pulley winches. Luckily, a staircase was eventually added. It's still a working monastery, so if you're up for the climb, you just might find a little peace, quiet, and spiritual distance. Number 11. Village of Gasadour. If the view draws you in, the wind and silence might be what pushes you back. Welcome to the village of Gasadour, a spot so isolated from the rest of the Faroe Islands that it wasn't connected by road until 2004. Some believe the name comes from a woman named Gasa, though others argue it refers to wild geese once common in ancient times. It roughly translates to Goose Valley. For a while, it was considered the last inhabited village in the area without a road, though there are still a few other distant settlements nearby, like Svinøy and Hattervik, that can only be reached by boat. Until the road opened, the only access was by helicopter or foot, requiring a steep climb and even steeper descent. Mail was delivered just 3 times a week via a designated mountain path. A tunnel eventually changed that, but many residents still prefer to walk. Tradition matters here, and modern life hasn't fully taken over. Number 10. Just Room Enough Island, New York might be one of the world's most crowded places, but someone found an exception. Just Room Enough Island, also known as Hub Island, is part of the Thousand Islands chain in New York State. It's the smallest inhabited island in the world, measuring just 3,300 square feet, or about 310 square meters. That's roughly 1/13 of an acre. Guinness World Records gave it the title after it beat out Bishop Rock. What qualifies it? Well, it stays above water all year and supports a bit of plant life. The island is one of nearly 2,000 that stretch across the St. Lawrence River from New York to Ontario. The Sizeland family bought the place in the 1950s and somehow squeezed in a home, a tree, some bushes, and even a tiny beach. It's just enough space for one group. Just be careful near the edge. One wrong step, and you'll be in water. Number 9. Meteora Monasteries. Prayer can happen anywhere, but these builders took that idea to its limit, placing monasteries on cliffs where few would dare climb. In Meteora, these stone towers are home to over 60 monks and nuns who live in complete separation from everything below. These structures weren't just built for peace. They were designed for protection from outside invaders during centuries of persecution. The word Meteora translates to suspended in the air, and that's exactly what it looks like. Ropes, pulleys, baskets, and wooden ladders helped monks scale the vertical rock faces. At one cave entrance sits what's believed to be the oldest human-made wall still standing, over 23,000 years old. Originally, there were 24 monasteries spread across these sandstone peaks. Unfortunately, today, as of 2025, just 6 remain, including St. Stephen, St. Nicholas Anapausas, Rusanu, Varlam, the Holy Trinity, and the Great Meteoron. Number 8. Bishop Rock. We've mentioned it before, but Bishop Rock once held the title for the world's smallest inhabited island, until Just Room Enough Island claimed the crown. Located on the western edge of the Isles of Scilly, about 28 miles off the coast of Cornwall in the Atlantic, Bishop Rock didn't seem like the best place to build a lighthouse. The tides alone made the area inaccessible for long stretches. In December 1946, a BBC radio crew visited to record Christmas messages but got caught in a brutal winter storm. They ended up stranded on the island for an entire month. High winds and violent currents made it impossible for boats to dock, but emergency supplies and the lighthouse itself kept the team safe until help finally arrived. Today, Bishop Lighthouse is often called the King of Lighthouses for its massive 161-foot height. Only the Eddystone Lighthouse rivals it. Number 7. Park Hyatt Maldives. Hadaha Mountains are peaceful, but the beach has its own way of letting you unplug, with sand, salt, and sunshine. That's what makes Park Hyatt Maldives Hadaha the ultimate hideout. It's a barefoot-style luxury resort set right in the Indian Ocean, far away from city buzz or nosy crowds. The location is family-friendly, eco-conscious, and visually flawless. It's one of Hyatt's top-tier destinations, sitting in their exclusive Category 7 for point redemptions. That translates to roughly 30,000 Hyatt points per night, or close to $2,000 in US dollars. Some call that steep, but for those who've stayed there, it's worth every cent. Just keep in mind, travel fees aren't included. Given its remote location, most people are already halfway across the globe. What makes it even more tempting is the private villa setup, complete with a personal host who handles every request. It's your own slice of paradise, but you'll need a strong budget. Number 6. Tiger Nest Monastery. Some places are built in remote areas to block out the world, but the Tiger's Nest Monastery feels like it was placed above everything just to test who's worthy of seeing it. This monastery is Bhutan's version of the Eiffel Tower or the Taj Mahal, iconic, sacred, and tucked above the Paro Valley, deep in the Himalayas between India and China. It draws international attention, but only a few visitors have the determination to complete the uphill trek. The winding trail moves through steep terrain and thick pine forests, eventually leading to the cliffside monastery. With gold-plated domes, whitewashed walls, and wooden balconies, it's one of Bhutan's spiritual icons. All Bhutanese are expected to hike it at least once in their lives as a form of pilgrimage. Built in 1692, it's said to sit on the spot where Padmasambhava meditated for 3 years, 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days, and 3 hours. The main complex was rebuilt after a fire in 1998. Number 5. The Toma Lookout. Would you trade convenience for solitude if the view looked like this? For some, this fire lookout tower is more than just a place to live. It's the perfect balance of work and peace. Located above Webb Mountain in Montana's Kootenai National Forest, just 2 miles south of the Canadian border, the Toma Lookout is a quiet post with a full 360-degree view of potential wildfire threats. Dozens of similar towers still operate in the Flathead National Forest and Glacier National Park, though the number nationwide has dropped from 5,000 to just 300. In this one, a man named Leif Haugen serves as the sole observer. He spends his days hiking, reading, and scanning the horizon for signs of fire. His watch runs from July to late September, though smoke from other states often clouds the view. Fires in Washington, Oregon, and California only make things harder. Still, with minimal rainfall and rising risks, this view and the job are more crucial than ever. Number 4. Coleman Scop ghost towns get their name for a reason, but some of them feel like the perfect place to be left alone. Coleman Scop in Namibia stands out from the rest. Once a thriving German railway outpost, it boomed after a rail worker discovered diamonds beneath the tracks in 1908. That one find flipped everything. Within a few years, the town was overflowing with miners, families, and wealth. Lawns, gardens, and even swimming pools were maintained, all in the middle of the Namib Desert, thanks to water delivered by rail. By 1912, the town had produced 1 million carats of diamonds, making it the highest per capita wealth zone on Earth at the time. Before the decline, over 5 million carats had been mined. Eventually, though, a richer diamond site nearby ended the run. The town emptied out as fast as it filled. What's left now is a sun-blasted shell, still standing, still eerie, and still perfect if you're looking to leave people behind. Number 3. Safe House by KWK Promes. This safe house might outdo anything Hollywood's imagined, built for maximum security with no shortcuts. Designed by Polish architect Robert Konieczny of KWK Promes, the home sits in Warsaw and was built with one goal in mind: complete protection. It's a cuboid fortress with movable exterior walls that open and close via built-in motors. These walls can completely shut the house off from the outside world or reveal an inner courtyard and garden when opened. The structure also had to hold up against high winds and extreme storms, which meant reinforced concrete walls and steel shutters capable of taking on gusts up to 175 miles per hour. The insulation not only protects the home, but also reduces energy costs in the process. It's equal parts practical and unbreakable. Whether you're trying to escape society or just nature's worst, this place delivers, locked down, weatherproofed, and impossible to break into. Number 2. McMurdo Station. We've covered beaches, cliffs, and deserts. But what about surviving in ice? Antarctica's cold doesn't stop people from living there. In fact, they've built communities that actually work. McMurdo Station is the U.S. Antarctic program's main hub. Located on the southern tip of Ross Island, it's only 850 miles from the South Pole. It was originally built between 1955 and 1956 as part of the International Geophysical Year. Today, it acts as the core logistics base for smaller field camps and remote science stations. It's also where waste is processed for the entire program. Locals casually call it MacTown. Most residents are researchers, contractors, and support crew, and they've learned how to live with freezing winds and 24/7 daylight or darkness. It might sound miserable, but once you settle into the rhythm, it becomes routine. Number 1. Nola Cabin. The suburbs don't have much appeal once you've seen a view like this. And if you ever feel like disappearing somewhere even more isolated, this cabin can literally be packed up and moved. Currently located on Vallisaari Island near Helsinki, Finland, it was designed by Robin Falk as a sleek, mirrored A-frame holiday cabin for sustainable luxury. It's called Nola, the Finnish word for zero, named for its net zero environmental footprint. Built entirely from pine, plywood, and other natural materials, it avoids any heavy machinery or metal. The cabin sits on adjustable pedestals that adapt to different landscapes and can be swapped out or replaced as needed. Its solar panels and renewable diesel stove are both designed for off-grid living. Even better, the whole thing can be dismantled and transported one piece at a time, like a real-life puzzle. It's simple, clever, and light on the planet. If you've enjoyed watching this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next.